In this video, we'll explore Chapter 29 of To Kill a Mockingbird, where Scout finally comes face to face with Boo Radley. This pivotal moment challenges everything she once believed about him, reinforcing the novel's themes of empathy, perception versus reality, and quiet heroism. Welcome to Guide's English Language and Literature. Join us as we break down the key events, themes, and deeper meanings behind this powerful chapter. Key events. This chapter serves as the immediate aftermath of the attack, bringing clarity to the full extent of Bob Ewell's intentions. Tate's presentation of Scout's damage ham costume is a chilling revelation. It wasn't just a playful prank gone wrong. The costume shielded her from what could have been a fatal attack, proving that Ewell was not just trying to intimidate them. He intended to kill them. As Scout recounts the attack, her fragmented memory mirrors the disorientation and confusion caused by trauma. The way she struggles to process what happened reflects the overwhelming nature of fear and violence, especially from the perspective of a child. The most pivotal moment in this chapter comes when Scout finally sees Boo Radley face to face. For years, Boo has been a shadowy figure of childhood superstition, feared and misunderstood. But now, in this quiet, intimate moment, all those fears vanish. Boo was never the phantom the children imagined. He was their silent protector all along. This realization marks a shift in Scout's worldview, setting up the novel's final message on empathy and seeing beyond misconceptions. Themes. The theme of perception versus reality takes center stage in this chapter. For most of the novel, Boo Radley was an unseen, mythical presence, the subject of rumors and wild speculation. But here, Scout's perception is forever changed. Boo is not a monster, but a human being with kindness and courage. This moment reinforces Harper Lee's critique of how society misjudges individuals based on fear rather than truth. Boo Radley's heroism is another defining theme. Despite his isolation, he has always been quietly watching over the children, stepping in when they needed him most. His act of selfless bravery dismantles the town's misconceptions about him. The person everyone feared turns out to be the most courageous of them all. This subversion of expectations strengthens the novel's message that true bravery often comes from the least expected places. Symbols and motifs. Boo's pale, ghostly appearance is a powerful symbol of his years in isolation. Having spent so much time hidden from the world, he almost seems like a spirit, reinforcing the novel's Southern Gothic atmosphere. His physical frailty reflects the emotional and social toll of his exile, showing how deeply society's rejection has affected him. Meanwhile, Scout's realization about Boo Radley marks a crucial coming-of-age moment. The figure she once feared has now become her protector, and she begins to understand that people are not always what they seem. This ties into Atticus's lesson on empathy. It's only by truly seeing Boo, by stepping into his world, that Scout understands who he really is. This motif underscores one of the novel's most important moral lessons. Prejudice and fear distort the truth. Character and plot development. This chapter marks a major turning point in Scout's growth. Throughout the novel, Boo Radley represented childhood fear and mystery. But by the end of this chapter, she no longer sees him as a source of fear, but as a quiet, misunderstood guardian. This moment cements her maturation, showing that she has moved beyond childish superstitions to a deeper understanding of humanity. Boo Radley's redemption is another significant moment. Once the town's most feared recluse, he is now revealed as its unsung hero. Although he never sought recognition, his actions prove his kindness and bravery. This reinforces the idea that heroism isn't about public glory. It's about doing the right thing, even when no one is watching. In this way, Boo's story mirrors Tom Robinson's. Both were victims of societal judgment, but only one was able to escape its consequences. Background and context. Boo's isolation also suggests underlying mental health struggles, which were often misunderstood or ignored in the 1930s. People with mental health conditions, neurodivergence, or disabilities were frequently hidden away from society rather than supported, reflecting the broader stigma surrounding mental illness at the time. Boo's reclusion may have been a form of protection by his family, but it also contributed to the town's fear and alienation of him. This highlights a critical societal failing: how fear and misunderstanding can turn a vulnerable person into an outcast. Boo Radley's life of isolation represents how society marginalizes those who are different. In many ways, he is a mirror image of Tom Robinson. Both men were judged unfairly, but for different reasons. Tom faced racial prejudice, while Boo was ostracized due to his reclusiveness and possible mental health struggles. The town feared what it didn't understand, and as a result, Boo was cast aside and forgotten. Boo's story also reflects the broader issue of mental health stigma in the early 20th century. During this time, people with mental illnesses or disabilities were often institutionalized or hidden from the public eye, rather than given proper care and understanding. Boo's isolation is not just a personal tragedy, it is a societal one. Had he been accepted rather than feared, he might have lived a very different life. The novel also examines the idea of childhood fears versus reality. Scout's long-standing fear of Boo Radley was shaped entirely by hearsay and town gossip. But the moment she meets him, she realizes that he is nothing like the terrifying figure she imagined. This serves as a broader metaphor for how society often misjudges people based on fear and misinformation rather than truth and understanding. In this way, Chapter 29 brings the novel's key themes full circle. Scout finally understands that true courage and goodness don't always come from where we expect, and that the people we fear the most are often the ones who mean us no harm at all. That's it for now. Join us in the next one,